The most dangerous feedback gap isn't built by fear. It's built by warmth. Your team likes you. That's the problem. Not the only problem. But it's where this starts. There's a version of leadership that looks like psychological safety. Open door. Genuine relationships. People know you care. They come to you with things. You're accessible. You listen. They leave feeling heard. And somewhere underneath that, there's a problem growing that you won't find out about for another 6 months. Managers who get the least information from their teams are often not the ones who are cold, intimidating, or inaccessible. They're the ones who've built the warmest, most human environments, and they can't figure out why the things that should surface don't. This is the information problem that emotional intelligence creates when it's applied without discipline. Block 1. The protection instinct. Premise. When you build genuine warmth with your team, real warmth, not the performative kind, something changes. They start to manage your experience of them. This is not cynical, it's human. When you like someone, you don't want to be the reason their day gets harder. When you've worked hard to build trust with a manager, bringing them bad news starts to feel like a betrayal of the relationship. Your team watches you when they bring problems. They notice what happens to your face. They notice whether you get more stressed. They notice whether you go quiet, whether your next few interactions carry the weight of what they told you. They're reading whether the cost of honesty is emotional. Frame. The question is not, do they trust me? The question is, what do they believe honesty costs them in this relationship? Trust and information flow are not the same thing. You can have a team that trusts you completely and still withholds the things that matter most. Not because of fear, but because of care. Because they've learned, through small signals you never intended to send, that bringing you hard truths is a burden. They've learned it's a burden they'd rather carry alone. Move. Start noticing your first response when someone brings you something difficult. What do they see? What do you do with your body? What words do you reach for? If your first instinct is to reassure, I'm sure it'll work out, you're closing the door. If your first instinct is to solve, okay, here's what we do, you're also closing the door. You're relieving the tension. And when you relieve the tension fast, you train people that their job was to create it, and your job was to dissolve it. They'll stop creating it. Block 2. The comfort signal. Premise. There's a specific kind of manager who almost never gets bad news early. They're good at their job. People like working for them. Their teams perform reasonably well, and they are the last to know. Always. The pattern looks like this. A problem surfaces in a meeting they weren't in, or in an offhand comment someone makes to HR, or it escalated to their boss. And when they ask why they didn't hear about it earlier, the answer is almost always some version of, I didn't want to stress you out. I didn't want to stress you out is the most expensive sentence in management. It means the information routing system failed, not because of culture. It failed because the manager taught people that their distress was worth managing. You've made yourself safe to work for. You've made yourself unsafe to deliver bad news to. These are not the same thing, and most managers never separate them. Move. The practice here is deliberate discomfort tolerance. When someone brings you a problem, don't make it smaller, make it bigger. Not with alarm, with curiosity. Ask, how long has this been building? Who else knows about this? What happens if we don't solve it by the end of the month? These questions signal that you can hold weight. They signal that the information doesn't destabilize you, that they did the right thing by telling you. The reward is your full attention, not your anxiety management. Block 3. The redesign. Premise. Most managers respond to this problem by trying to be more approachable. They send signals, open door, ask more questions. They say explicitly that they want honest feedback. They announce the policy. It doesn't work, because the problem was never approachability. Reframe. The gap between what you say you want and what your team actually delivers to you is not a communication problem. It's a behavior problem. Your behavior. The signals you've sent, through how you've responded to difficulty in the past, have built an information filter. Your team has learned what you can and can't handle, even if that learning was never accurate. Announcing that you want more honesty doesn't undo that learning. Responding differently does. For the next 30 days, change one thing. When a direct report brings you a problem, your first response cannot be a solution and cannot be reassurance. It has to be a question that opens the problem further. Not to make things harder, to make it visible that you are genuinely interested in the size and shape of the problem. Not in moving past it quickly so everyone feels better. The speed at which you relieve discomfort tells your team exactly how much discomfort you can hold. Slow that down. Let them see you sit with it. Closing provocation. Your warmest relationships may be your least honest ones. It's not a reason to be colder. It's a reason to be more disciplined about what warmth is for. Warmth is not the same as safety. A team that feels cared for but manages your emotions is a team that routes around you. The managers who know what's actually happening aren't the most open. They're not the ones who are the most supportive or the most emotionally intelligent in the room. They're the ones who've learned to sit with discomfort without flinching, who receive bad news the same way they receive good news, whose faces don't change. Your team is watching you every time they decide whether to tell you something true. What do they see? Warmth is not safety. Discipline is. Anchor forged. Building leaders who anchor their teams and forge the standard.